to Mr. Cage. Yeah, I was just going to ask, I mean, looking at all this footage, as Ellen would say, we've clearly gone beyond Crash Bandicoot in terms of experiences, but one of the things I wonder is, does a game like this almost transcend the concept of playing? Like, what would you define playing as in this context?
Well, for me, interacting is about making choices and seeing their consequences. So I'm all against the tendency in our industry to define interacting by shooting. If you don't shoot at someone, if you don't destroy something, then it's not a game and you don't interact. I totally disagree with that. I mean, I thought that in some scenes in Heavy Rain where you were just turning on or off the light in the house where your kid was, it was interacting and it had consequences and it was a part of the experience. So I don't know if we transcend the concept of interactivity, but definitely we want to give it a different meaning. You don't need a gun to interact. That's my belief.
Let's do one more on the left.
Good evening. My question is for the actors. I'd like to know how your preparation for the roles in Beyond were different than from other acting jobs you've had.
I would say the most challenging thing is just the amount of memorization you have to do because of the amount of, and typically I don't have that much of an issue with it, but on this, you know, on a film, like on the movie I'm shooting right now, it's like a big movie, so you shoot like a page or less a day, you know? And then on maybe like a movie like The East, you shoot more like 4 or 5 pages a day. On this, we would do 30 to 40 pages a day. But also, the scenes that you're doing aren't a fully cohesive narrative because there's so many different options and responses. And so no matter what the emotional intensity of what you're doing is, in the scene, you're not shooting those things separately. So it's like you say something, be the other thing, be the other thing, and sort of that pivoting. First of all, remembering everything, and then pivoting with all of that kind of emotion and direction is really challenging. But such an amazing opportunity as an actor to have that exercise, because when would you ever get the opportunity for something like that? But the fact that it's just like, you know, and non-stop on a set, you wait for the camera to turn around, you change locations, you all of these things, and this, you're in that space and you just go.
Yeah, she had the hardest job by far. My preparation was, I know my scene had come, and it was almost just like a film. But I could feel for her because she had to flip it. She had to say yes one time and then no the next time, and then maybe the next time, and then next scene, yes one time and then no. And I was like, wow, baby. She got it bad. But for us, since we weren't the playable characters, it was, we were supportive. We were the more support team. So I came to work, I did my part, I made sure I was there for her emotionally every time, and him and Willem, and then that was it, and I got to go home.
Thank you.
And Eric, too. Speak for Eric.
And we go over here.
I thought that last clip was great. I thought that was a great scene. My question is just as a storyteller, though, if I remember correctly, in the clip, when we were watching it during the movie, there was an option whether you jumped or not. Is there a concern as a storyteller that you would be missing these like mini climaxes if somebody was a wuss and decided not to jump?
Yeah, that's always the difficult decision you have to make as a writer. You write these little moments, you make them interactive, which means that the player can see them or miss them. And you want to make sure that no matter what path the player chooses, you got a consistent experience, an emotional experience that says what you want the scene to say. And yeah, sometimes it's a pity to say, oh, you know what, some players will miss this part. But at the same time, you're so happy for the people who will see it that you think it's even better that way. It's a privilege. It's people who make the right choices will get the best parts.
One more. We only have time, unfortunately, for one more question, so we'll go here.
The question is for Ellen. There were 2 things things that struck me about the performance. One was the extreme sort of physical nature of it, the amount of physicality involved. And the other was the little singing portion. My question is, how did you prepare for the physical aspect, and is singing something that you want to do more of in the film?
That's actually a really, really good question, because one thing that's really important to know is, other than like the acting and like the very performance-based stuff, there are other really incredible people who did so much of the work. So all the fighting and the physical things that didn't involve me, because this is, they shot, how long did you shoot motion capture for?
12 months.
Right. So other than like, the acting and that sort of interactive level of it, all the physical stuff was by, incredible stunt people that did amazing, amazing things. Not to say I don't do any of it, but I wish I could do more. That would be just